Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Auntie providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you this fine day?
Fine and dandy. How about your own self?
Oh, just lovely. Thanks.
You're welcome.
What's been going on in your world?
Well, it's springtime in the Rockies.
Yep.
And I swear within the last week, these beautiful, beautiful yellow flowers came bursting in my lawn. It was almost like overnight. Oh, they're just so beautiful to see. And
they make good soup.
Soup. Now I was thinking tea or wine. Supposedly it makes good wine, and the greens for salads.
There you go.
Yeah.
And of course, we are talking about the dreaded
Dandelions.
That's right.
Not daffodils.
Not daffodils like Auntie said they were. She gets a little confused.
Yes. Auntie called them daffodils.
I get confused between daffodils, daisies, and dandelions.
Oh my gosh.
All the D's confuse me.
Oh my gosh. How about delphiniums? Do you get them?
Never even heard of it. I'm not much of a gardener, Auntie Joan, as you well know.
Oh. Yeah. So, and then I was thinking back last year, I happened to be looking out one of my windows into the backyard. And I couldn't, it must have been a little bunny rabbit. That's my wildlife here. Little bunny rabbit in the backyard. And a lot of those dandelions had already, gone to the seeds, to the puff stage. And this little rabbit was just munching on them. I mean, one after another. It was so cute to see.
You had three or four bunnies in your front yard yesterday when I was there. I meant to tell you, I forgot.
I bet they're living under my porch.
Probably.
There's a little hole they can get into under there. Yeah, good. I like to protect our critters. Although one year there was a odor coming from under there. Well, I didn't know it was from under there. I could just smell the skunk. And week after week, I'm thinking, well, you would think if it had been killed on the road, it would have passed by then. And then, ended up getting a
exterminator.
Exterminator to come out. And it was a big honking skunk. And it was dead. Yeah. Gross. So I thought we patched up that hole so they couldn't get in there, but I've noticed it's been opened again. So who knows what all's living under there.
Eek.
Yeah, so come on over and grab a cup of coffee and sit on my porch and see what comes out.
Nice.
3 of them, huh? Well,
3 or 4. Definitely 3. I can't remember if there was a 4th one or if I was surprised to see the 3rd one. So, but yes.
I saw one in my neighbor's yard yesterday, too. Yeah. And then with all these dandelions, my next door neighbor had offered to come over and use some of my tools to dig them out. Because they don't have one. No, well, not yet. But they don't have one dandelion in their backyard. They keep their yard up. So, and mine isn't as bad as the people that live behind me. So there you go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's too early for anything up here to come out yet. Probably not until end of May when we'll start seeing some stuff. So all my weeds will start infiltrating my backyard and I'll have to go whack them. But right now there's nothing.
Yeah, on that Nextdoor app thing, that everybody has now where you can find out what's going on in your neighborhood online. Somebody had said, please don't get rid of the dandelions yet because all the pollinators like them. If you do decide it's time to get rid of them, don't kill them with weed killer. Yeah. But then I saw my chives that I planted last year had all come up. They're huge, and they got their little flowers coming up. So
Mm-hmm.
that was exciting.
Yeah, I had containers on my old house deck. I had left the chive. I just didn't do anything with it. Just let them all die off for the
Hmm.
season. Then the
Oh,
next summer,
yeah,
when they
yeah.
came around, the chives were the only thing that came bursting back with a vengeance. And I'm like, oh my God.
I was surprised they came back so soon, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thrilled with that.
Very
And then
nice.
on top of that, I did talk to my other brother,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him about the pickled watermelon rinds, and
Oh.
he said he absolutely loved them when he was growing up. I
Oh.
don't know if it's a guy thing or a girl thing or what the deal is. I think I tried them once, like I said, and I just didn't like them. But my brothers, both of them, just really liked them. So he got quite a few of my mom's old cookbooks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to remind him when he gets back home because they do the snowbird thing. So when he gets up there, they're going to look at see if they can find her old recipes. And my sister-in-law said, yeah, she thought she saw that recipe. So fingers crossed, everyone.
Woohoo. Very cool. It's exciting.
Yeah, that's my excitement. Almost.
Almost.
What you up to, Auntie?
Well, this past Saturday had a bit of a scare with my baby boy. Friday night, he was walking towards me, and I looked at him and I was like, you got a little protrusion there on your left side that I need to be concerned about. So I called him over and I was feeling it. And I was like, I can make an argument for something being here and something not being here. Feeling, the exact same spot on the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
side and all that. So it's like, well, we'll keep an eye on it. And then the next morning, I kind of saw it again. I was like, I touched it again. I was like, I don't know. I do actually think there's something there.
Was this on his chest area?
This was
Or?
on his, closer to his hind legs on his side, though. So like
Oh,
stomach
okay.
area ish.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know. I'm like, let me just do a quick check on the internet. Big mistake. Typed in, I think something like 12-year-old male German Shepherd mix, distended stomach on left side. And what do you think came up?
Liver?
Bloat. And I was like, uh-oh. And it was like basically he had one paw in the grave and get him to emergency room immediately. And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
So I called. Well, first my Killian's regular vet retired, which was sad because I was really hoping he wouldn't do that quite yet, but he did. The new folks who took over the practice don't have hours on Saturdays. So I was like, okay. So then I called a different vet that we had gone to once before. They're the ones that diagnosed Killian with his lupus on his nose. So I called them and, oh, we don't have any appointments available today. Besides, you should take him to the emergency room. And I'm like, got any you recommend? Like, I'm like a basket case at this point. So anyway, I went down to an emergency vet in Lakewood. In Lakewood. They have the same one in Boulder. They tried telling me that the Lakewood one was 10 to 15 minutes closer. It was 1 minute closer than Boulder. And I know Boulder better, but I said, you know what? If time really matters, I guess a minute's a minute. I'll take it. So I went to the Lakewood one. It's called Veterinary Emergency Group, I think is what it stands for. Anyway, I'd called and like I said, they were all just like, bring him in. We get there and I walk in, they're like, who do we have here? I'm like, oh, this is Killian. They're like, is this a potential bloat? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, let's go in the back. And they swarmed on him. He had like 6 people around him in like a half a second.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God. So now that made me even worse because now I'm like, oh my God, this is really bad. And why didn't I take him last night, when I first saw it, And but long story short, happy ending. He did not have bloat. Anyway, they believe it's just a fatty tumor, which is like a sigh of relief. Huge. I mean, they did x-rays. They did, with my permission, of course. They'd already determined that.
Yeah,
I'm telling you now it's not bloat, but we should try and figure out what this is. Would you like us to do x-rays? And I said, yeah, I want you to do the x-rays. They did an ultrasound on him. They did x-rays.
Holy smokes.
Well, the ultrasound was just one that they just rolled over. This veg place is very interesting. It's the whole emergency setting is open. So like I could see another couple with their dog, dogs in
kennels along the walls that were there that had surgery, had spent the night and, that kind of stuff. And everything's in the middle. Their computers and stuff are smack in the middle of the room with big monitors hanging from the ceilings. I'd never been to anything like that before. It was a very interesting setup. I didn't totally mind it. I was a mess. I'll be quite frank. Killian was just like, I don't know why
definitely.
she's freaking out.
Yeah,
He was all like, ooh. And I was a mess. But as soon as I said it's definitely not bloat, we just need to figure out what it is. So not conclusive that it's a fatty tumor, but she's like, they took even extra. She's like, it's going to be a flat rate for the x-rays. And honestly, reasonable as far as I'm concerned for, no appointment, calling up and coming on a Saturday. I thought it was extremely reasonable. I had a much higher number in my head that I was going to get charged. They said, well, we're doing the x-rays anyways. We're going to do his whole torso, basically,
Oh, wow.
He's in tip-top shape. So
that's
good to know.
a relief.
It is very much a relief, but they were very sweet there. Everybody was just so friendly and nobody made me feel like a crazy dog mom for racing him down the hill, or anything like that. They were just very, very sweet and knowledgeable and did not charge me. We didn't walk away with any medications. So they did not do anything beyond what they thought it really was. You know what I mean? It wasn't like they were just going to start popping him with pills or scare me more or, watch him for 24 hours and then bring him back or nothing like that. And I have to say they have followed up 3 times.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So did they tell you what it was? I mean,
they think it's a fatty tumor.
Okay.
They didn't confirm.
So a lipoma?
They just said fatty tumor. That's what they all call it.
I mean, I'm just throwing this out there for you.
Mm-hmm. He has another one of those on his chest, much smaller.
I've watched enough. I think every Dr. Pimple Popper's show. Mm-hmm. So I think I could go in and actually take that out for you. Free of charge.
Okay. He's fine.
You sure?
He wasn't bothered by any of it. The whole process. Oh, but he did get the finger up the butt, Auntie Joan, and I didn't have to do it. And they said everything was fine there too, because I told you that he had been spending a little extra time munching his butt recently.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nothing. Found absolutely nothing wrong. And since then I think he just wants somebody to stick their finger up his butt because now I haven't seen him munch his butt like that since. He's a gross little man.
Well, we might look into his sexual preference leanings,
Mm-hmm. He had a thermometer. He didn't like the thermometer, but he was okay with the finger. Bizarro.
A thermometer, why bother, The
thermometer, he was like, oh my God, what? And he's like squirming. And then and then she's like, well, we'll do a rectal exam. I'm like, oh man, did you not see him with the thermometer? And she's like, here we go. And he was fine. He just stood there. I think by that point, he'd already gone through the stress of it all and was just like, all right, I guess I'll just stand here and let them stick a finger up my butt.
I would think with that open concept that would be kind of stressful for all the dogs.
He always is hard to settle at a vet between the smells. I mean, it doesn't even honestly matter. But I have to say, no dog was like extra anxious that I could see. There was, like I said, another couple with a dog that was like labby size, but it was a mix. Older, because I could see the gray on the muzzle. I don't know what issue they were having. They were completely across the room. And then there was another small dog with their mom there. And I don't know what was going on. I don't know what was going on with anybody else.
Yeah.
But yes, it all ended well. And like I said, so if anybody in Foothills area needs a recommendation on an emergency vet, I highly recommend Veg. I can specifically speak to the Edgewater Lakewood, because they kept saying it's in Edgewater. I'm like, I've never even heard of that before. Where is that?
I haven't either.
Apparently it's a suburb of Lakewood. I'm like, really? Just say Lakewood.
Lakewood's a suburb of Denver.
Exactly. I'm like, just say Lakewood. Like, really? Where did this Edgewater come from? I'm like, I don't even know where that is. But they also have a facility in Boulder. They probably have others, but those were the 2 closest to me. My only recommendation to them was, because I did fill out a comment thing and posted it on Google and the whole shebang, and just basically said, I would just wish you guys were closer to where I live.
Yeah.
Because either way was about 55 minutes from my house. So, and again, in a situation where you think every minute is a ticking time bomb, that was a very stressful ride down.
Oh, for sure. My gosh. I mean, I've been not to that vet, but I've been in that situation, and it's heartbreaking. Yes. I'm glad it turned out well.
Everything's fine. He's like, I don't know what the big commotion was all about, but we slept the rest of the afternoon on Saturday.
Oh,
him and me.
I bet.
4.5 hours. I never nap. folks. Ever, ever, ever. It is not my thing. I want to. I could just usually never fall asleep, but I slept for 4.5 hours that day in the middle of the day, noon to 4:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did
So that
you
happened.
you didn't happen to ask them about his thigh, his hip, did you? How he shakes sometimes, that tremor he gets?
No, because it's not consistent, Auntie Joan. Because honestly, I think it's more of an anxious thing than a actual like arthritis thing. Because I've noticed, I mean, he's been doing that for years.
Oh, okay.
And it's been when there's other dogs around, or like he's in a situation where he's, you know, not in a state, because as you could tell, he wasn't crazy when you saw him doing it, but there were dogs outside, there were people, you know, across the fence line that we were talking to, so there was a lot of stimulation happening.
Yeah.
And so I've seen him do that for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't think it's anything.
Well, at least you know it's not a tumor in there.
Nope, it's not that. So they did say, you know, and she's like, not an emergency situation at all. She's like, but the next time you go to your regular vet, just have them, you know, take some fluid out and do, you know, confirm that it is in fact she's like, but I am really pretty freaking confident that it is exactly that. And I was like, as soon as you said fatty tumor, I just took a big sigh of relief, and I was like, okay. Okay.
Yep.
That we can deal with.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So that was Saturday. And then let's see. Monday I had that tree taken off the roof from the storm.
Oh.
So that all went very, very well. That guy, he's amazing. I've used him before for removing trees. He's just amazing.
I wonder if he does like down here.
Oh, he's great. He just gets to the house, he, you know, does a quick, okay, just wanted to make sure we know what we're doing. Okay. And he's like,
And it was just him?
Just him, one guy. He's coming back, so I have a lot more trees to remove this spring, summer that I had already planned to do. And he'll bring the two guys that were here the last time they did the big tree removal for me. For this, I would have thought he would have had somebody else with him. I was kind of surprised he came by himself to do this one, but he did. And no damage to the roof, thankfully. A little damage to the gutter, but that I can actually ask my neighbor to help me bang out. You know, it's just got a little dent.
Another wonderful experience for you.
Yes, I tell you
now,
what.
The people on the other side of my house, when we had that big snowstorm, like a month ago or whenever, their tree, there were some big branches that started sagging because of the weight of the snow. And so they had a tree company come out, and there were like 3 tree trucks.
Oh.
Yeah, with probably 6 guys.
Oh, I remember that because they were in my parking spot.
Oh, were you here then?
I think no. I mean, I wasn't staying there then, but I think I was down at that point, and I went somewhere. I came back, and they were all in my parking spot, and I'm like, where am I supposed to park? I was kind of aggravated with them, but yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, and that was just for that one tree, and then.
Oh, wait, you said the other side. You mean with Kirk?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. This was the other people.
Oh. Well, they had, there were like 3 trucks. And I went to put my trash out, you know, for pickup. And there wasn't any spot to put my cart thing, my garbage cart. So they took it out for me and said, well, we'll move it back if they come through. So they did, yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the big tree removal. I mean, I hate the part of listening to it it's going to take a couple of days, I would imagine. But when it's done, it's going to be different. There's a lot coming down. A lot coming down.
Are you going to save all that for firewood? And
I will save it for my neighbor for firewood, and then he will cut it up and give me some wood.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That's our deal. He gets the free trees, and then he splits it all and brings me firewood.
That's a good deal.
It's a very good deal because it contributes to my laziness. I don't have to do nothing. But we had a little bingo session with
bingo. We didn't get to say.
No, we didn't. We didn't win the bingo. We went on a different night than normal, and it was all blackouts. So every game was a blackout. Not as much fun, I didn't think, because definitely, easier. Didn't have to really think about much. But made it less fun, in my opinion, too. So we'll have to pay attention to that and make sure, check the website before we do that again. Our friend of the show, Hey C, came with us for the first time. She went a true bingo haul with us. She thought we went every week, which I just thought was hysterical. I'm like, oh my God, no.
Now, for those of you who don't know, the blackout bingo is where every number on your card has to be filled.
Right. That's the bingo.
Yeah, that's the bingo.
Right.
And how many times did you tell Hasey that that's what the blackout is?
Several. And she said she understood. And then when the first game started,
she had 5 in a row and she says, bingo.
And I said, no, and I thought she was kidding. So I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, yes, look. And I'm like, blackout. I didn't know what that meant. And I'm like, oh boy.
It's a good thing she didn't yell, bingo.
I wish she did. That would have been awesome.
So, hey, C, thanks for coming. It was really fun having you join us for the big bingo event. And, well, maybe next time we'll do better.
Maybe. Yes, it was fun having a newcomer join us.
Yes.
So we'll have to do that again sometime.
You betcha. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we talk about what we are watching. Auntie Joni, what you watching?
So, we talked so much about shows that we've seen on Netflix and Hulu and all these other streamed HBOs, you know. I thought, let's do something for the common folk, people who don't have people who don't have people who have lives and don't feel they need to invest in entertainment on their TV. So I had been seeing ads for Will Trent, and I thought, well, let me give that a try.
It was also recommended to you by a family member. Anyway,
I guess I forgot about that.
Okay, well, no worries. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So, what did I think of Will Trent? I've only watched like the first 10 episodes
of season 1.
Okay. Maybe
you're almost done.
Maybe the first 8. I think
maybe because I think there's only 11, so you're pretty far along in season 1.
Yes, I am. Almost done with season 1. And the first episode, I thought he was going to be kind of like a Mr. Monk character, you know, from the old Monk show. But no, he's not like that. I did appreciate his caring for Betty,
his little chihuahua. So cute.
Yes. I love that little character, and I hate chihuahuas. But anyway, one thing now I was in my 20s in the 1970s and the late 1960s, my late teens. For me to see such a diverse cast is noticeable and impressive, I thought. I couldn't help but think African-American women must feel so comfortable. Those actresses must feel so comfortable when they go to that set to film because they're not the only one. You know what I'm saying? There's just a whole diversity of people. And then Nico, the dog walker.
Yes.
They, them.
Yes.
They're cute.
Yes. Adorable. Agree. I love their dynamic.
And I like Will and Angie.
Oh, Angie, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I'm not understanding this. I don't remember season 1 because that was last year. In season 2, at least, and maybe she did it in season 1 as well. She wears a scarf tied around her neck.
That's true.
Like a chief almost.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about. I don't dig it. I'm not going to lie. It's not a very good fashion statement in my opinion, but they never comment on why she does that. And it's just an odd fashion choice in this day and age. And they never say why she does it.
But at
least not
true.
so far.
Yeah. Now, Will has that scar that goes
Yes.
down the side of his neck.
Mhm.
So I wonder if there's something might have happened to them, that she's hiding.
That you learn more about.
Oh,
But
okay. Okay.
the kerchief that
Yeah.
she's got going on, no.
Huh.
No, I hate to be
Yeah.
a spoiler for you, but it's never explained, or it hasn't been explained to date.
I bet there's a reason for that, though.
Maybe.
Yeah. But what do you think about Will Trent? Tell me.
So I started watching it last year. It was something that my nephew and I would watch. He would when I was out in Connecticut for that month, and we continued to watch it through season 1, and then we're very excited and anticipating for season 2. So we're up to date. I can tell you picked a halfway decent time because they're actually on break until the end of the month. You've got more time to catch up to get current before they pick up again. So you're aware, because I went to look for it, of course, this week, and there was no new episode. I'm like, come on! And and then I had to ask the Amazon device why or when my next episode was coming, and it's not until the end of the month. So that kind of bummed me out a little bit. And then I talked to my nephew today, and he's like, I'm going to watch the latest episode of Will Trent. And I said, there is no latest episode, but he's behind. He doesn't keep up on it like I do as much. He's like, oh, I still have whatever the last episode was to watch, which was last week. And I said, yeah, they're on break until the end of the month. And he got all mad. He's like, what? Because we also watch The Rookie. I know we're not talking about that now, but that's another show that my nephew and I chat about.
Oh.
He actually recommended that I go back and watch it. So I've caught up on all previous season and I'm now current. And they're also on break.
Like, they're what?
They're also on break. So we're without our 2 shows that we chat about. So that's a bit of a bummer. But anyway, I really liked it. It definitely grasped my attention. The Will Trent series, specifically season 1. Season 2 is still very good, in my opinion. I think season 1 was a little bit better, but season 2 is only not even halfway yet. I'm sure things will pick up and, intermingle and things like that. I enjoy it. I wish Betty were in it more, actually, the little chihuahua, because I think she's adorable and very cute. So they're federal agents, folks, for Georgia FBI. Yeah.
Bureau of Investigation.
Right. GBI. And he's a bit of he's not a savant. He actually has dyslexia, but he because of his dyslexia, I think is where they're coming from on this. He thinks of things differently and has to sees the world differently. So he's able to solve murders and mysteries differently than other folks would approach it. So I do like that aspect as well, seeing a different way to look at things and seeing how he's going to solve the case. And
on that topic of having to think about things differently, that just brought to mind, I worked with a guy who went to Germany on a year's temporary assignment, and he didn't speak German. He went with his wife also. Anyway, he noticed, because of not being able to communicate that well verbally and, through words, it's like it kicked in this sixth sense where he would pick up on things and start seeing things differently. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That is.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Will Trent so far, Auntie Joan?
Well, it's okay. I mean, it's not something I would crave watching every week. It's no Better Call Saul, let's put it that way. Better Call Saul.
Totally different shows.
I know they are totally different shows, but that type of show, Better Call Saul, is one that I would really look forward to. I mean, I would be very anxious for the next episode to come. So,
gotcha.
But it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Anything else you want to bring up about Will Trent?
No, I don't think so. I think that pretty much covers my thoughts. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we're to the part of a program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. And this week we're going to chat a little bit about the Target Circle Week with Kristen Wiig.
Yay, Kristen.
Adore Kristen Wiig.
Me too.
I love when she breaks and she starts laughing, which is pretty common with her, honestly. But I adore that about her. I think she's just a cutie patootie, and her characters and her delivery of lines it's just, she's got precision for comedic timing. And I thought it was a very cute commercial. There's a bonus extended version as well. We've got some YouTube links that we'll be posting with this episode. But yeah, I just absolutely adore everything about it. And she's just silly. And you said it was based on a character in SNL. It must have been a point in time in SNL when I wasn't really watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed quite a few years of SNL. I'm not gonna lie. I
And
really
usually-
came back.
Usually her customers would be, like the star of the show that week.
Gotcha.
The host that week.
Gotcha. Was she
Yeah.
actually a Target employee or just
Yeah,
a grocery
she was a
store employee?
cashier.
Okay, but it was specifically Target
Yeah.
on SNL. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I guess Target hired her to actually bring that character to a true commercial of theirs, and I thought it was very adorable. Just her getting ready in the morning, getting ready to go to work, and she's
Doing her haircut,
doing
her bangs.
her haircut with a bowl on her head. That was fantastic. Just fantastic. And she was recently on SNL as a host. I have to say, she came out. Actually, I saw her a couple days before that on Seth Meyers. So Seth has, especially if it's an SNL alum that's coming back to host, he usually has them on his late night show that sometime during that upcoming week because they're in town doing, preparing for SNL. And she came on his show and I was like, oh, no. What happened to my Kristen Wiig?
Oh.
She looked very different. Her profile, her straight on face just looked very different to the point where I'm like, something's up. And I had to go out to the internets and do a little investigatory work. Nothing confirmed, but apparently the questions started rolling in. I guess she made an appearance on the Golden Globes with Will Ferrell, which of course I did not see. And apparently folks took to the internet during the when they were playing, the Golden Globes, and they did some little skit together. I don't know. And people were questioning whether Kristen Wiig had some plastic surgery done. Like I said, nothing confirmed other than apparently she had said years ago that she doesn't understand why anybody gets plastic surgery or something to that effect. I don't remember the exact words. But people were saying that she looked good. And honestly, I had the opposite opinion of what I saw. But what was interesting was, so she had this really blunt, short haircut that had to me, no straight. It was just like hanging on her head. In my opinion.
This was on the Seth Meyers
This was
show?
on the Seth Meyers show.
Okay.
And when she first came out on SNL. So that's her
Okay.
real hair right now. It's just this short, blunt, and it's blonde. And
okay.
I think it may be the haircut because on SNL, she, of course, was in a lot of skits. And when she put on wigs that were more in line with how I'm used to seeing Kristen Wiig's hair, she looked more like her. So I don't know if it's her haircut that is not doing her justice, doing the angles of her face justice, or what. She just looks so different to me. It was mesmerizing. That's all it was. I have no idea what she even talked to Seth about because I was so like, did she? What's going on with her face? Like, something's different,
Yeah.
It was very distracting. But like I said, in SNL, as she was doing other skits and she put on other wigs, she actually looked more close to Kristen Wiig we all know and love. So I don't know if she's actually had work, but it's either a bad haircut or she's had something done. Maybe it's a combination of both. I don't know.
Well, I started watching, was it Palm Royale?
Yeah, she looks great in that.
On Apple TV, and the first couple episodes, the first episode, I didn't even realize it was her.
Oh.
And she had longish hair in that too.
Yes.
So, I mean, she looked like a young, beautiful woman. She didn't look like somebody who should be her age.
Yes. They definitely got her very tan in that show. I only watched it because I went to Auntie Joan's house. As folks know, I no longer have the Apple Plus that didn't make the cut on my streaming services. They definitely had her very tan in that show. And I'm like, or, whether it's spray tan or whatever. But I was just like
Yeah,
noticeably so.
she looked really different in that too. And
Yeah.
I think I actually had to look at the cast list to see, oh my gosh, that's Kristen Wiig.
So you noticed a difference too.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, big time, big time.
Yeah.
And I
so-
didn't see the SNL yet. I need
Okay.
to go back and watch that because I do really love her.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, when she
and I
first
will
came out and did the the monologue,
uh-huh.
then she looked like she did on Seth to the distracting, like you look strange, Later on in the show, as she put on different wigs and played different
Yeah.
characters, she looked more like herself.
Huh.
I thought.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, she did. Like I said, I didn't even know it was her at the beginning. But then who am I? I'm just some old crone, that
No.
doesn't keep up with a lot of the stuff.
Did,
So
did you see Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar?
no.
It is so silly.
Wait a
and
minute.
ridiculous.
What is it?
Barb and Star go
Oh,
to
no.
Vista Del Mar. And it's Kristen Wiig and her writing partner. So all the movie, like Bridesmaids and all that, she has a writing partner. And the two of them star in it. And it's ridiculous. It's, yeah, they end up down in Florida and, Vista Del Mar in Florida. And they just, it's silly. Bizarro, silly. It came out during COVID, and so it never really hit the theaters. It came straight to streaming because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I don't think it got as many people watching it as had it been in the movies and then came to streaming. It probably would have done a little bit better. It's very silly. Hasey and I actually hung out. We knew it was coming out, so I think she came up to my house. We watched it or bought it on whatever it was on, probably Prime Video. We watched it. It was just very silly, very just silly fun.
I see.
Target Circle Week. I enjoyed this one a lot. And
Well, speaking of Bridesmaids, Chris
Yes.
O'Dowd was on The View today, and he talked about his show coming back for a second season.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, he was the cop in Bridesmaids.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, it's not that lottery movie that's coming back, is it?
Yeah, the one with the machine and
Yes.
yeah.
That
yeah.
has a season 2. Was that Apple?
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
remember
remember.
either. I did watch all of season 1, kept hoping that something
Oh, I
something-
liked it. I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They might get me if I can stream it.
Mm.
We'll see. But I do like him. I love
Yeah.
I think he's just adorable.
I do
loved him
too.
in Bridesmaids. But I
Yeah.
think he's adorable.
That was such a good movie.
It really was.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you wanted to bring up today or this week, Auntie Joan?
I do not think so. I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Well,
And then some.
wonderful. Indeed. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you, dear listener. We appreciate you. And this is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now.
Have a good day. Bye.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.